Hi guys, welcome back to Kit Car Direct and MK Sportscars. I can't wait to dive into the workshop this week. Lots of exciting stuff, especially when you get a bit of silverware. Right, here we are, it's Cup 200 time. The car is fresh back from Croft, where it was the first Cup 200 race series actually launch. We had 6 cars out there on the grid. Amazing weekend. These cars, brilliant all weekend. And as you can see, we got some tinware in the process. So Cup 65 was driven by Matthew Booth, a familiar MK person. He's, started back in cutting his teeth back in probably 2016, where he won the Sports Special Championships in an MK Indy actually, with a Duratec in. But Matthew has started some development work with us last year on the Cup 200, getting up the series running, and we've parachuted him in for a few races this meeting to get the car again dialed in and working with Rich Webb and Dave Watson at Atomic Racing to get these cars up to the pace, and they were phenomenal. We were really fighting with the Spires and Rattels as well. These cars have got their own grid and we've got our own positions within the grid, so it's fine, but we're still fighting. You still want to fight for every single position. So the cars around Croft sticking in the sort of 128 lap times, 129 lap time, which is very respectable, exactly where we wanted to be, a few seconds behind the leaders in terms of pace. And then Matthew came in P1 in first race 1, and then in race 2 and race 3 a respective P2, but he did get fastest lap over the whole weekend at 128.85. So well done to Matthew, but well done to Rich, Dave, Chris, Carl, Alex, all of the guys out there, and the team who supported Luke, and all the families that come and joined us. It was great to see, and a few spectators that turned up to cheer them all on, and I think they put on a spectacle. Now, we will have some onboard footage. We're going to do a little video compilation because it is that good. You are not going to want to miss it. So make sure you're subscribed, wait for that video to drop and be, well, totally blown away. The guys, the talent, the cars, it's phenomenal. But for now, if you didn't watch it live, there was a live feed on these Cup 200 cars and the race, and in fact the whole series at Croft. Elliot will drop you a link down below and you can give a little taster of what happened on the day, and there's some spectacular racing across the whole board. But if you want to know more about the Cup 200 range, then hook up a phone call, email at Atomic Racing, or if you're really unsure, you can give us a call here at MK Sportscars and you can point you in the direction, because no doubt, if you get in that driver's seat, you will have so much fun. You will enjoy yourself beyond, and you cannot believe what a 1.3 litre Suzuki Hayabusa engine can go like with that 6-speed box. They are crazy. But yeah, hook up Atomic Racing, RLM Racing as well. They support on the engine side of things, and we can fill you in on all the details on the Cup 200 series. Well, it's Silvia leader time actually. This had a cross-flow engine in there, and we put in, the customer supplied us with a GX 1000 engine in here, and Joseph set about making a cradle for this. So we've got front stays in, a bottom stay has gone in, we've got the bar that goes across here, it's just going into paint here at the moment, and everything else, we've got another cradle bit going in, so that'll be mounted in. It's going to have to cut a hole in the bonnet, unfortunately, to get the air filter through, because it's quite a tall engine to give it plenty of sump clearance. But other than that, yeah, we're on with cradle, and next job will be gear stick and prop shaft. So we've got to do a gear change. Now, unfortunately, with this vehicle, if you look in the tunnel, there is literally nothing in here at all to mount any gear levers or anything to, so we're going to have to make some kind of cradle in there to mount the gear lever, or gear stick, whichever you want to call it, the gear lever, because it's a bike engine, to make the 6-speed sequential gear. So we've got 2 formats so we can do it. We can either do it with push rods, or we can do it with a cable drive. So we're just working through the solution which will be best to suit this particular vehicle. And then we've got a prop shaft to make, which will be a custom prop shaft because it's got a Viva back end, I think, and obviously with our 70mm spined coupling for the drive flange, so we'll have to make a custom prop for that as well. So yeah, but it's cracking on. The engine sort of is in position, in height, and everything else, just finish up the cradle. Okay, so it's M&R Vortex Mazda Turbo time. Been on with this over the last things. We're trying to create a lot of parts to put onto the vehicle. First job is the body panel's gone back on here, the rear tub. We've cut all these holes and neatened and tidied them all up. Adrian's done a cracking job of that because it was all chipped and marked and didn't quite clear the wishbones and everything else, so we're making it all nice and neat, and then we can trim that up for IVA. So you've got to put a trim around this for IVA because that comes as a sharp edge. We've got the intercooler on and the 70mm radiator in that combination, so this is for the turbo car. That's all been mounted on, etc. as well. Engine's pretty much in its final position now, so the engine mounts can be drilled. We've been on with rear arches, making sure that all the bodywork was in the right position. So we had to put the rear arches in to make sure this rear tub, because the whole body panel here can move quite a bit actually, like 15, 20mm either way. So making sure that this is all good. So the rear arches have gone on for that. We've made the new back panel. The back panel's here, so this will go in for the interior one. We made a new alley one for this. So that'll go on into the back panel because the plastic one was a bit cracked and split. So that will be the next job as well. The scuttle's going on next as well. Adrian's just doing that now. He's cutting all the holes over there for it all, making that fit with the steering column and everything else. And we're going to make it so it's basically usable, because normally it can't come off, but you can't get to all your electrics then. So we're going to make it so it can bolt off to make it user-friendly. Again, for the end user, if you get any problems later on, then you can get to all your electrics, your wire and everything else as well. So yeah, cracking on with that. Turbo's on, link pipes are on, coolant pipes are on, and all of that, all the nice bits that are on there. And then we start bolting the A-arms on shortly with our brake kit that's on here actually, and the cross-Jordan vented that disc as well. So that's the next job to start focusing on. Right, MK Indy Hayabusa Gen 2 time again. Dry sump car, as you know. What we've been on with is making the dashboard really. The dashboard's gone in. Joseph's been working on that as well and doing all the switch gear, doing all the electrics, getting all that splicing because it's all new. A couple of gauges which are important ones, oil pressure and oil temperature, and then we've got this new little one actually we're trying out actually, a little Daytona. It's got a bike engine clock, wiring all that in as well. That's going to sit up in here. It's got all the displays on it, very neat, very compact little unit. Something a bit different we thought we'd try on this vehicle, but it's got your gear position, it's got your speedo, it's got your revs, it's got shift lights, all the nice little bits on it, and very compact, so we're going to try that. Got that going on. Body panels, that's all done. We're marking up for the rear lights, so the rear lights will go in. Then it'll be boot box cover, scuttle's already done. Then we'll be nose cone and nose cone bracket, wing stays. Put new braided lines in here that go through the panel as well for the wheelwood front setup. This is a Sierra front end on this particular one. So it's got a Sierra front upright with a 10mm, well, 12 to be exact, 12mm cross-Jordan grooved and vented, non-vented disc on it as well, but they stop. It's got wheelwood top mount pedal box. We do a lot of bottom mount pedal box now with the billet ones. Nice to look at, work really well, as is standard on the Cup200 cars as well. So yeah, this car's starting to progress down and starting to build in through, and this will get off to IVA in the next few weeks then as well. So watch out for that one. If you want to know, it comes down, I think this car's going to go up for sale. See if you want to know more about it. Hook us up, phone call and email, and speak to Neil or Andy. Right, we're outside here. It's RX-5, but with a difference. K20 engine inside, as you've seen. Hashtag Pete's car. We're doing a few little bits, a few little final tweaks for IVA, a little bit of trim, a little bit of this, etc. Emissions was the final job that we had to do on this. So dialing in the emissions, getting that all under control. And the next job then is loading the van up, because yes, it's going off to its IVA test, which we're pretty confident it should sail through. And then we're on for registration. And yes, Pete will then be looking forward to his summer driving in that glorious K20 8000 screaming V-Tec engine. Right, it's RX-5 K20 time. It's the A2 engine. It's the beautiful hashtag Pete's car that we've got here. Just basically getting it ready for IVA. What we're doing now, guess what? It's emissions time. Yes, it is. So you know the parameters, we do it each time, but we're going to show you the skin. We like to keep showing you so you know what we're doing. But what we're going to do now, first job, is we're going to pick up the RPM to about 3,000 RPM to get the cat nice and warm. First job is making sure she's up to temperatures, at least 85 degrees. Make sure your oil, if you've got a gauge, make sure the oil's up to at least 50 to 60 degrees as well. Does help with hydrocarbons and things like that. So, first job, Pete, bring it up to 3,000. Gonna hold it at 3,000, get the cat nice and hot, and then I'll put the probe in and we'll see where we're at. Right, we'll hold that at 2,800 now. Bring it down a touch. Probe her out. And we're going, machine's just auto zero. Typical, isn't it? Right, here we go. Let's go over here. Elliot's nearly killed himself. Let's go over here. Right, so what are we targeting for? Well, this has to be below 0.20. At the moment, it's going to drop probably even more because we're targeting Lamba. There it goes, down it goes. The cat's warming up. This has to be below 200. So we're at 16, and Lamba below 1.30 or 0.97. So this, Joseph's on the laptop, what he's done, he's targeting Lamba 1. And that's why it's brought it in nice here, and perfect here. And then what we do now, it's even getting better, we drop it down to idle. We drop that down to idle, please, Pete. Now we know we're good on that, we're going to drop it down to idle. Now we don't have to worry about any of these other digits, we're just going to worry about the CO2. It's going to go up, and then we've got to make sure that that is below 0.20, 0.20, 0.05, 0.4, 0.3, and stabilise in there. So 0.2, even better. So this now is a big IVA emissions tick. So once we've done the emissions, what we thought we'd do, we'll have a bit of fun. Let's do the little pound test, put it in the engine, see how smooth this bad boy is. Well, it's pretty smooth actually, considering it's in a lightweight chassis with the rubber engine mounts that we use, which are quite stiff. But yeah, she stood up pretty well in the pound test, spot on. Right guys, it's that time of the week, it's chassis register time. Well, this week it's up on this side. If you're in the queue, you'll see where you're heading towards getting your kit to build at home. If you want to get yourself in the queue and come and visit us, the factory here, and see what's going on, talk through the process, maybe get you out in a demo car and have a look, talk to Neil and Andy about the range, hook us up with a phone call, email, we'll be happy to oblige. Secondly now, we're on to this. Well, it's double-decker crate time, it is, literally. 2 cars in here, these are going to be going after, they're crated up. It's a bit more different. We've got both, we've got engine box in that one, engine and gearbox in this particular one, because we're crating them up and finishing them. It's quite tricky trying to piece all these, the jigsaw into these crates, because it's a lot of component parts that got to go in there. But it seems to be the best solution for this particular one. It's going to be quite heavy. 2 kits in a box with engine, gearboxes, diffs, everything else. So, but yeah, we are able to get them crated up and make crates to ship them all over the world. Right, well, what a week. Croft was amazing. I can't thank Atomic Racing, R&M Racing, Rich Webb, Dave Watson, Luke, and the team for supporting us over there. It was a stonking weekend. I forgot how exhausting racing is, but how exciting it is to watch as well. Bit nervous in the pit lanes, but when these guys are on it, and I cannot wait to see that live footage, you must subscribe to get to see that footage. It is off the chart. If you want to know more about the Cup car range, of course, speak to Rich or Dave at Atomic Racing. Or if you want to know more about this, the K20, or this, the K20, which is going off to lucky customer, #Colin, then hook us up with phone call, email, and speak to Andy. That's it for this week, guys. Like, share, subscribe, press that button down there if you like it. We'll catch you next week.